and welcome back. Another weekend come and gone. It is Monday night. Tomorrow's Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, and Friday. And we'll be right back into another weekend. And wondering where that went next Monday, the 27th. It's the 20th of April. We're going over to England for the first hour to talk with, without question, one of the most outspoken, unforgettable, unique, incisive, and rarely wrong or incorrect geopolitical, military, financial analysts on the planet. He is heard exclusively here several times a month on the program. His name is Tim Rifat. Are you there, Tim?
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. Thanks for getting up. There is so much to talk about. The program tonight will deal with Obama, the Rothschilds' chosen Pharaoh. That's the slug for the program. Just a little quick note, and I hope all of you saw the story about how Obama lied regarding how he handled the pirate episode. It's very interesting. It's up there at the site now. Anyway, there's a lot to talk about this sock puppet and how he continues to perform for his masters. So tell us more.
One can start with your story about one of your guests saying that when he went to Russia, a Russian lady described Mr. Obama. You may continue.
Well, that was 1993. Sure, she said.
Exactly. So
you're going to get a black president. He's going to be a communist. His name is Barack. And she went on from there. And it's a jaw-dropping story. You can find it at Rense.com. Do a search. The story is called The First Time I Heard of Barack.
Now, one must ask, why would the Rothschilds, at this juncture in time, when Gordon Brown is proclaiming the New World Order, yet again, even though the banksters have collapsed the world economy, why are they so sure they're going to get their New World Order, one world government? Well, for that we have to look at the nature of humans. Now, hasn't it puzzled you, Jeff, that the majority of Westerners, especially, obey, cause no trouble, and to all intents and purposes, act as versions of the Stepford Wives, if you've ever seen the Stepford Wives?
Yeah.
It's a film where the males in the town replace their women with androids, robots, so that they will do what they're told on demand, and all free will is eradicated. Now, what the Rothschilds, who are the masters of the so-called free world, the Zionist empire, they have for a long time been stockpiling the so-called occult secrets, what you would prosaically call the ability to control the masses.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why can we control the masses? Well, it goes back to the beginnings of civilization. Man was originally a hunter-gatherer, and what happened was that he hunted in packs, and this is called cursorial. For example, a tiger will pursue the prey, and if it doesn't catch the prey, it will give up. But a cursorial pack, like the wolves or man, will keep on following one prey until they bring it down. So they act in conjunction, and to all intents and purposes, they're not a single entity, but like wild dogs and wolves, they're a pack or mob animal. It's called cursorial. And what devolved humans, from my opinion, was that we originally had alphas who backed up the leader, and we then had the so-called betas or drones who just obeyed. And there's been research on the numbers, which used to be, and there are normally, in a normal population, pre-Western population, there are about 85% of the population are these so-called drones who obey orders. There are about 10% of alphas who are the lieutenants, and there are about 5% who are the leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we can see that the development of civilization, city-states, was okay if you eliminated the so-called loners. These are humans who don't fit into the pack. So even these days, loners are seen as potential criminals. It's always the lone gunman or the lone militia terrorist, etc. And they were, to make the city-states, radically hunted down by the mob. And what we got were these 5% ruling the city-state, and these 5% killed each other, and the king of the castle became the king of the castle. Now, what the Rothschilds were interested in was what the Egyptians did, which was to bring these city-states, each one ruled by the one of the 5% that kills off the rest. So we had, you can imagine, court politics. We have these 5% of leaders then link up into groupings, and researchers found that a human can only really know about 156 other people. So there's the potential then to link all the alphas, the leaders, into someone who knows these 156 so-called leaders and can produce a country.
Right.
And in Egyptian times, they looked at the technology of fusing city-states into one empire, basically the precursor for the Rothschild New World Order, which they wish to regenerate in modern times. Why do they wish to do this? Well, the Egyptian civilization was a very, very stable civilization. It lasted for about 5,000 years. And one can see that if the Rothschilds wish to govern the planet as absolute rulers, they would want to duplicate what the Egyptians used to turn the leaders of these city-states into slaves, Stepford wives, drones of the one Pharaoh. And all this knowledge has been dug up, looked at most assiduously by the Stanford Research Institute and the American and British so-called occult branches, of which MI6 occult branch derived from Dr. D, the original 007 in Elizabethan times, an inventor of the most powerful form of group mind ruling Enochian magic. This has been the thrust of research, because if you can control the group mind, then, for example, you can cause the collapse of the Soviet Union. You can cause the Ukraine to be ruled by an imbecile called Yushchenko. You can cause Georgia to be ruled by someone who's even more of an imbecile than Yushchenko, which is tall order, and who declares war on a gigantic state of Russia and thinks he's going to win.
Under orders, by the way. Yes.
Sorry?
Under orders. Under
orders, of course, but remember, this all fits into the rule by one Pharaoh, because the plan is to try and duplicate what the Egyptians did to produce a stable society. And if you're going to have a new world order, you want it all ruled from London by the Rothschild so-called master, who has used Egyptian occult technology, which we would call it, to actually fuse the group mind of humans and turn not to these 85% of drones, because they will do anything they are told. But the real thrust of the movement is to get the 15%, the 10% of alphas and the 5% of leaders to change from being alphas and leaders to be drones.
Right.
And one can see that the whole thrust of Western civilization has been to basically, first of all, get rid of the number of alphas and leaders by trying to cut down on the number produced and producing more drones. To this extent, we introduce families where they have no fathers, because in biology, we have something called neoteny, and the longer the development of the human, the more intelligent it becomes.
Uh-huh.
And we find that especially females and males without a father develop much quicker. Therefore, they have less time to develop intelligence and leadership abilities, which they need to be alphas and leaders. So
interesting.
Having the Rothschild bastard family with the father, who knows what father it was,